you guys? Welcome back to the Dre Files, featuring yours truly, Andre, but you can call me Andre because we besties for the resties. Anyways, before we get to today's video, obviously it's Pride Month. I gotta do a quick promo with my little Pride t-shirt collection. Today we're wearing Kiss Me, I'm Gay in the hot pink color, I believe. For those of you who haven't seen the back, I'm about to show you the back of this. But if you've been with me for the last couple of videos in June, then you already know what it looked like. You can go and get yours today at ariandrellc.com. That's ARIANDRE.com. And you can also use code ariandretv for 20% off in checkout. That's 20% off your order. Go get some. Go copy some. Baby, I'm trying to run a business, so go support, you know? Anyways, let's get into today's video. Now, you might be wondering, why are we in this new setup? Baby, we're in my bed. We're in my bed. This is my little backdrop that I got by my bed. And I'm like, I never really used this backdrop for a video, even though it's Pride Month, and I got my pride flags. Above me is my non-binary flag, but yeah. I just realized it's Pride Month and I've never used this backdrop before, so here we go. Here's the backdrop. We're doing a video in my bed today. So I had a plan to talk about some movies that I've watched recently, just something random, but because we're doing this channel, and this is more so a channel for me to be myself and just be a representation for everything that I represent, pretty much, I wanted to talk about my representation in the LGBTQ community. Here's kind of an explanation of like who I am as Andre. All my life I knew I liked women, right? I knew I liked women before I knew I liked men. Honestly, like when I was a kid, I thought I was a boy before I knew I was supposed to be a girl. I had 2 older brothers. I was playing just like them, roughhousing just like them, wore all their clothes because we wasn't the richest, so I got their hand-me-downs, pretty much. So I looked, dressed, acted like a boy. In preschool, I was playing house with girls and kissing them because I was the dad of the house. Not everybody has the best stories about coming out. Mine wasn't really the best. I came out as bisexual because it was more socially acceptable. At the time, my mom did not like the fact that my older brother was gay. And the way she was treating him, I was scared to come out. But when I finally did, I came out as bisexual because I thought it would be more socially acceptable than just being fully gay. My mother sent me to a pray away the gay camp. That's what I like to call it. It was a church camp, but all they talked about was how sex before marriage is bad and how being gay is bad and how if you do any of these sins, you're going to hell and blah, 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 blah. You know? She also told me in the moment that she would like to see me in heaven. So she hopes I change my mind about my sexuality. And then kind of like threw the Bible at me for me to read and expected that to be like, oh, I'm straight, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyways, my dad really just thought it was a phase. He said you can't really be bisexual if you've never had sex. And I'm like, oh, okay. Basically, when I came out to my parents, they both thought it was kind of like a phase or like a joke. But I pretty much knew I liked women from the jump. Now, every time I've had a boyfriend prior to me coming out as bisexual, it just wasn't working. There was something just always off and it just wasn't clicking for me. Like, me and men just wasn't working. Something just was always off with the relationship and we just always ended up breaking up. As I went off to college, it turned into lesbian. Because, hey, yo, when I tell you, I went to college and the men in college just wasn't it. They was definitely a disgrace to me. And I was just like, you know what? I'm good. And then it also doesn't help when something traumatic happens surrounded by a man. So it just makes it even worse. And it's just like, men just become bottom of the barrel. You feel me? So I was just like, I'm not really messing with men. So I took a hiatus off of men and literally was just straight women. And I explored that to the fullest extent now that I'm off at college and now that I don't have parents who don't believe in my gayness or whatever. Am I just trauma dumping on this video? Who knows? It's Pride Month. Let's talk about our pride trauma. How about that? Let's get it off our chest. Because I know I'm not the only one who has like weird stories or like bad stories. It wasn't like just some happy, ending. But at the end of the day, like, as long as you have yourself, you good. As long as you have your community, you good. As long as you have your friends, you good. You feel me? I've built a family of people who believe in me and support me and speak into my existence the way that I want it to be. You know? They take what I tell them who I am and they go with it. They're not sitting here trying to put some type of label on me. Like my family, they try and still put me into an old name that I don't go by anymore. Ariandre is my chosen name. Ariandre is a name that I created for myself that represents me. And I created a family and a community of people around me who understand that and who get that and who respect that. Respect my pronouns, respect my name, respect anything that I'm doing in life, whoever I'm with, it doesn't matter. They don't look at me differently, and that's because you have to build a community around people who get you. You have to build a community around people who actually love you and care for you, and it doesn't matter who you are or what you become, and they'll still support you. Just as long as you ain't killing nobody or like, something that's like that could put you under the jail, you feel me? But like support you in life, you feel me? Your goals, your happiness, anything. People that support you in life, bro, those are the ones that you need to keep in your corner and like actually genuinely support you, you feel me? Like, I don't know. But yeah. I want to build a community of people who know that like I'm going to stand by them. If nobody else got you, baby, I got you. I know what it's like to not have people support me and having to build your way, your own family, your own people who actually believe in you. I know what it's like. I know what it's like, and I got you. You can be in my community. You feel me? Not everybody has like the best backgrounds of, coming out. Some people have it way worse than me. You feel me? So like, we need to build a community of people who actually support each other. I hate people in the LGBT community like going against each other or trying to dictate what's what or like trying to put people into different categories. It really doesn't matter. I don't label myself as anything because I don't even know what the heck to label it myself. And that's what a lot of people in the community are doing. They don't know how to label what they're going through in life, and they're just kind of taking it day by day. They're trying to label it to fit in the community, to try and get people to understand what they're going through, just to turn around and be like, oh, well, like, I'm going to talk down on you because you labeled it like that. Like, why do lesbians talk down on bisexual people? If I'm with a man, I'm going to be with a man. If I'm with a woman, I'm going to be with a woman. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? I get it, the whole, like, you don't want to lick down. That's a different story for a different day, okay? I get that part. You feel me? It does change. LOL. What am I talking about? I swear this is just like a random video. I'm turning on the camera and I'm talking. I don't really have anything planned. I had something completely different planned to talk about today. And I'm just rambling right now because I gotta get it on my chest. It's Pride Month. It's Pride Month. It's Pride Month. But yeah, so I came out as bisexual, went to college, came out as lesbian because I was just like done with men. Something traumatic happened with men. Came out as gay, fully, and then had been gay for like until now. You feel me? And now I'm starting to, I guess, heal from old trauma wounds surrounded by men. And it's allowing me to be like, maybe I can explore that more now. Maybe I can explore men again. You feel me? Now, don't burn me at the stake. Don't burn me at the stake. I've always loved everybody. To define my sexuality now is I like what I like. There's no label to what I like. I don't have a preference. It could be any and everybody. If I find you attractive, if we communicating well, if the vibes is right, comedy's comedying, we laughing, we hee ha-has, I'm for it. I'm for it. I have to mentally get my partner before I can physically be like, get that heart palpitation. Like, obviously you're going to get the heart palpitations, the butterflies when you first see somebody like, ooh, damn, they fine. But you feel me? But to get that full on, like, I got a crushy crush, you got to hit my mental. And if you can hit my mental, you got me. You feel me? It doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, what parts you have, how you got them. It does not matter to me. You feel me? If the vibes is right and I'm fucking with you and I find you attractive, I'm took. I'm took. I'm took. It doesn't matter. You feel me? And that's what I kind of labeled it now. It's just like I love everybody. And I've always wanted to spread love to just everybody. And I don't know. Here recently, I have been exploring different parts of my sexuality. And I don't know. It's crazy to think about. Like, for so long, I felt kind of embarrassed to talk about it because people think like, oh, once you come out as gay, like there's no way that you can. Well, sorry, I'm finding myself. Sorry, I didn't know what to call all my feelings. I still find everybody attractive. I've always found everybody attractive. Even when I labeled myself a lesbian, I found men attractive still. You feel me? But I had trauma built up and I was kind of afraid of men, so I never explored that part of myself. Therefore, I consider myself a lesbian since I only been with women. It's just something to think about. I'm really just rambling, but I genuinely just love people. If our vibes connect, if we're meshing well, I'm for it. You feel me? I hate how nowadays people aren't allowed to explore or like do different parts of themselves. There are so many people that I've seen in the LGBTQ community that have came out as lesbian, right? But then they'll have an encounter with a man or get pregnant or something along the lines that shows like I've been with a man. And now everybody's flipping their lid. They're like, oh my gosh, blasphemy. It's like, okay, so if we all believe that sexuality is a spectrum, why are we so hell-bent on trying to categorize people and stick them in this box forever? Why is it that somebody can't explore out of themselves or find somebody that they like that's not in their norm and actually have a genuine connection with them? Why does it have to be that if you're a lesbian, you have to stay lesbian? If you're bisexual, you can only mess with other bisexuals because no other lesbian is going to want to be with that, or men are going to be, like, it's just like weird connotations around different parts of the LGBTQ community. And there are some parts of the community that fight against each other. And it doesn't make any sense to me. We should all be together and helping each other because at the end of the day, the world is already against us. Especially my black LGBTQs. The world is already against us double time. Why are we not sticking together? Why are we not building a community together? Why are we not having each other's back? Why are we going against each other? Why are we discriminating people just because they're exploring outside of their label? What does it matter? What does it matter? What does it matter? But I'm here to represent the people that don't give a crap, that love everybody. I'm not putting a label on myself because too many people want to hold you to that label. But I've been there and done that with the whole labeling thing. I'm not doing it no more. I'm just labeling as I like what I like. If I like you, then I like you. Don't matter who you is, what you got, I don't care. I like you and I want you. And we can either do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. We've talked about the sexuality a little bit, how it's changed over the years for me. Kind of, sort of. Hopefully I chopped it up and it makes some type of sense. But now that we've talked about the sexuality part, let me talk about the non-binary part. Because that is a part that I will label. I do consider myself as non-binary, and that's probably the only label that I will consider having, for real. But I consider myself non-binary because I don't necessarily feel internally that I fit into the male or female category. I feel like I'm a mix of both, yet separate at the same time. I need my whiteboard because I want to draw this out so that y'all can understand what I'm talking about. My board's not clean, so you're just gonna have to listen and pay attention, okay? Somewhere in the years of my deep, dark depression, I started to hear another version of myself. It was similar, almost like a twin, but it would be a different point of view, a different extra voice, or a different something. You know, I don't know how to explain it. It just kind of came about. And then it started becoming more prominent. And then I started to feel myself like actively start to flip between the two. And the more I started diving into myself and visualizing what I could feel was happening internally, I kind of came to the conclusion that it's like a dark room and a chair sitting under a flashlight. You have two twins, Ari and Andre, who come into frame. Whoever sits in the chair under the spotlight has control over the vessel. The chair is the doorway to the vessel being the outer exterior. Whoever's sitting in the chair has control. So if Ari's in the chair, Ari's going to be presented more like a boss bitch feminine. Boss bitch feminine. That's the only way that I can explain it. And then if Andre's sitting in the chair, it's going to be a nice, mellow, chill man. It feels very masculine on one side, very feminine on the other side. And they flip, but they also live simultaneously. As if, say, Andre was sitting in the seat. They'd be taking form, they'd be steering the vessel. So they probably picked out how we dress today, or how, we look today, how we're talking, communicating with people. But Ari's still right there. We still live the same life simultaneously. But say if Ari puts a hand on Andre's shoulder, you'll see a little peek of Ari come out. You'll see a little reaction that's Ari. Or you'll see a little taste of Ari while Andre is present. I don't know how to explain it, but basically, if you've seen Split, it's kind of like that. Whoever is sitting in the chair has control, and it's not so much of a dramatic flip. That's the only difference. It's not a dramatic flip. It's more of like a in and out type of thing. They live simultaneously. So like, the only difference that you will really see is a slight change, and as well as the responses. Like sometimes if you'll talk to me, my response will be one thing, then a couple minutes later, I'm looping back around to it, and it's a completely different thing. And it's because it's two different versions in my head. I also feel like it's three in me, if that makes sense. The vessel is like the omniscient, all-knowing author. It knows exactly what these two are doing, thinking, and everything that's going on, yet they have no control over what's happening. They kind of just have to react and like be the voice for the people in the story, which are Ari and Andre. I hope this is making sense because I'm trying to like explain what's going on in my head, and I wish I could draw it out for you guys. You know how in a book, the author knows everything that's going on, knows all the thoughts of the characters, and they're zooming from place to place, and they can speak their own thoughts, or they can speak to the audience, but they're not really in the story. They're not really changing the story. They're just voicing it. That's kind of how the third party is. So I kind of got my piercings. Honestly, I said all that so I can explain my piercings. But I got all my piercings to kind of symbolize that. All my piercings meet at the center. Well, at least on my face. You have the twins, Ari and Andre. And then one singular, which is the vessel. And they meet here in the center. Each person has their own set of the twin piercing and then the singular for the vessel, all meeting here. The vessel one is the lip, which is the twin, and the tongue, which is the vessel, meeting here. But I feel like there's three personalities, and they all meet here. And I honestly think that's why my piercings feel so symmetrical, because they are symmetrical for, like, me internally. You feel me? I know this sounds crazy. I don't know if I'm explaining myself. I don't even know if this is making any sense. But it's not necessarily like a full different complete person. Like, we're still one and the same. We still live in simultaneous connection. Like, I know what they know what I know. but we have different reactions, different mindsets, different mannerisms about us that you'll see if one of us is present more than the other. That's kind of where my non-binary came from, is just the fact that I'm not necessarily one or the other. I feel both. I feel neither, yet both at the same time. So I can't consider myself male or female enough to say gender or anything. So yeah. And then I say they because well, technically, yes, it is a they. It's multiple people in here. So like I always tell people, consider it like you're talking to multiple people, because you are. I have multiple personalities. I haven't been tested on it, but if this is what's taking place in my mind, I think this is probably the best explanation for it. Is I have an extra personality that was created, built off of trauma. And I called it Andre because Andre has always been a safe name for me. And yeah, I kind of named it Andre because it felt like a safe masculine. And I just really like the name Andre. And I always consider myself, like, if I was going to be a man, I would have want the name Andre. But yeah. I feel like this extra personality was built based off of trauma because Andre kind of came about as a protector. And for a while, I only presented as Andre because I had been hurt and I was really going through it. And if it wasn't for the fact that Andre presented itself, I probably wouldn't be here right now. Like, if I didn't have this other persona to kind of live for me or just like be there and be a solid person while nobody else was, I don't think I would have made it. And it's crazy to think about that. Basically, I had to have my own back. I had to build an extra person inside of me to have my own back so that I didn't try and... We're trauma dumping today. Wow. I'm coming out and trauma dumping. That's going to be the title of this story. Also, I go by all pronouns. Ari is she, they, and Andre is he, they. But I just say they, them, because it's too much to explain that when I'm in different forms of myself, I want to go by different pronouns. People don't get it. They, them works all the time, so I just say they, them. I hope this is all making sense, but I feel like as someone who is trying to build a community of people who like just be themselves no matter what, I feel like I gotta be honest with y'all and let y'all in on like who I am as a person as well. You feel me? How are y'all gonna follow somebody you don't even know? How are you gonna take advice from somebody you don't even know? You feel me? And I feel like the bigger we grow, the more I want to connect with people who are like me. The people who don't understand what their sexuality is or don't really care to label their sexuality because who the cares? Or people who really didn't have a good coming out story. People who need a community of people who believe in them and trust them and love them no matter what. You know, I'm trying to build a community of people who just have each other's back. I don't know. And I can't start that type of community if I'm not also honest with my community, if I'm not also pushing for new agendas, new mindsets, new, you know, breaking barriers, if I'm not trying to sit here and show y'all a different way of life. Like, I want to live in a world where everybody is accepted for who they are and who they want to be, and there's no clash, especially with groups that need to be solid. I feel like the LGBTQ community should be very solid with each other. We should have each other's back no matter what. And I feel like we don't, and it kind of sucks. Like, say for instance, if I were to tell people I wanted to explore men again, or like I wanted to do X, Y, and Z with men, they would hang me out to dry because I classified myself as lesbian. And it like doesn't make sense. Like, I'm still LGBTQ. I still like women. I still eat that poom. I still go crazy on it. You feel me? Like, that's never gonna change. That's never going to change. But like, just because I want to try something else or like switch it up every now and again, now I'm not gay no more. Now I'm not good enough for no women. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Or like women, like everybody has their own preference, and I get it, you know, I get it to an extent. But like there are actual women that just be like, yeah, no, I'm not dating anybody that messes with men at all. Or like, you know, I don't date bisexual people. And it's like, okay. But you'll mess with this straight girl who don't want to give you the time of day and possibly has messed with more men than I have, but okay. Oh, because you trying to turn somebody out. It's like it's stuff like that that just it doesn't make sense to me. Like, why are we doing this? Why can't we just accept everybody? And if you have a preference for that, then just don't mess with that person. But don't downgrade somebody. Don't put somebody down just because they're venturing in a different lifestyle than you. LGBTQ supports LGBTQ. If you not on that, don't be on that. But don't put somebody down just because they on that. Simple. And that, like, I feel like if we had that mindset for anything in the world, honestly, everybody would be cool. I don't like that for me. You doing that, it's okay, cool, whatever. You do you. I support people doing what they want to do. As long as we not out here killing people and just wreaking havoc for no fucking reason. As long as people mind their business, we would be fine. If everybody did not care what the next person was doing just because they don't do it themselves, everybody would be fine. The world would be fine. Why are you caring about what the next person is doing just because you don't do it? Now you want to downgrade them. Now you want to talk down on them. Now you want to see them as lesser than just because you don't do it. It doesn't matter. It's none of your business what other people doing. Simple. And I don't know. I just feel like if everybody just had that mindset, we'd be fine. There'd be no problems in the world because who's worrying about the next person? People judge and judge and judge, and that's what's really going to be the death of us. Too much judgment on the next person. I don't know. I'm just spitting today. I feel like today's video was very much so like a random talk. Like, literally just sit down and have a powwow. I'm literally in my bed, covered in my fuzzy blanket. Like, I'm literally just chit-chatting with y'all. Like, this was nice. Most of what I'm saying is from my point of view and stuff that I've been through. So I know not everybody in our community is like this. I know not everybody is quick to judge the next person. I know not everybody is not accepting. You feel me? I know there are very big parts of the community that have stuck together and that are solidified together. I just wish there was like a all-around universal medley rather than it being certain groups in certain areas that are actually solid and ride for each other, and then others that are just like you know what I'm saying? Anyways, you guys, that is it for today. We are in Pride Month, so we're speaking pride. That's what we did today. And I kind of came out again publicly for all to see. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I shall see you guys next week. But you know how we do. Before we go, I gotta give you a kiss of good love, good faith. Let me get closer. You're too far. You're too far. You're too far. But let me give you a good luck kiss of good luck, good faith, good everything for the week to come. I love you guys. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're succulent. You're gorgeous. Like, I wish you the best week ever. Okay? But before we go, let me give you a kiss. If you want a kiss, stay tuned. If not, skip 5 seconds. But here's your kiss of good luck. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. And I hope to see you guys next week. Love you guys. Time to go to sleep. Good night.